So hi, I decided to do a bit of a YouTube thing, and I hope this video gets shared. I'm not doing it for any profit or anything else. I'm not doing it for, hey, look at me, how wonderful I am. Okay. Now, I've seen a lot of things happening in the world today, and there's a lot of confusion and a lot of people unhappy. Now, this is actually going to be a little bit about the human nature. And the biggest divide between human nature isn't about race, it isn't about colour. It's actually very closer to home. It's the divide of men and women. Okay? There is no greater bond that can happen except it be between a man and a woman, mother and son, father and daughter, husband, wife. Okay? There is no thing that is possible to actually break the power that can bring. Now, I've actually seen families split. Yes, this is true. It's unfortunate. But I have never ever seen a more happier situation than when a man and a woman are joined together, they have a family, they recognise each other's strengths, support each other's weaknesses, they move forwards, balance together. Now, I've seen an awful lot just recently, and before we go any further, I am not a modern day feminist. I actually have more respect for the predecessor feminism, the pre-formation, the suffragettes, Miss Pankhurst, these type of women. Now, at that time, were these women fighting against men? No, they weren't. They weren't actually fighting against men. They were fighting to stand with their men. Okay? They were fighting to be heard, for their views to be heard. Not because of their women, but as human beings. It just so happened that these human beings were women. Okay. Now, I've seen just recently an awful lot of this, and bless you. Bless your little hearts, modern feminism. The gender pay gap. There's this, there's that, there's the other. You know, there's an awful lot of women going, oh, I'm offended because of this, because men did this, because men did that. You know what? Men have done an awful lot of things in the world. They've done bad things, they've done good things. Women have done bad things, they've done good things. Right? Atrocities are being committed by both men and women. You only have to look in history for that. You really have to. Now, let's get something straight. And I'm going to start with very, very simple basics. Okay? And to quote a film, Kindergarten Cop, boys have penises, girls have vaginas. Okay? Men have testicles, women have ovaries. Now, I wonder why that is. Oh, because it is to continue the human species, to come together, to create a human being, to move forward, to walk in this world, to become self-determining whether they are male or female. Okay? Now, I hear an awful lot about how women are subjugated. You know, I look around at me today. I have female bosses. I have male bosses. There are female politicians. There are male politicians. There, in every walk of life, there are female commanding officers in the army and in the military. There are male ones. Okay? Everything a woman or a man could possibly wish to do today can happen. Okay? The problem with this new wave feminism isn't the fact that they don't have the opportunity. It's victimhood. And I've noticed around me just recently an awful lot of men, there are two kinds of men now. There are men who, yes, and I will admit, there are some men who will take advantage of women. There are. I mean, there are some real scumbags out there. There really are. And then there are men who actually care about their women, who love them very much. And we care about women. We appreciate their beauty. We appreciate the strength that women have in them. I mean, God knows. My girl, she has so many strengths that I've learned from her. And she has learned from me. And we come together, we make a unit. Now there's too much of this, and the thing that I've noticed is that, surprise, surprise, with any movement nowadays, it's based on victimhood. And an awful lot of feminists now are taking photographs of the genitalia, they're posting them, sending them virally, everything else, and in fact, really the observation of an everyday man is this. To the feminists out there, you're acting exactly like men. You are. You're acting exactly like men. Let's take this example. A man takes a photograph of his penis and puts it on whatever, sends it by message or anything. Suddenly there's a mass hysteria and shock. And yet, a woman does the same thing with the same place. Okay, maybe different shape. It's a hole instead of a rod. Suddenly that's acceptable. Actually, you know what? It isn't. It really actually isn't acceptable. And it doesn't further your cause because, to be honest with you, there's an awful lot of guys like myself who turn around and say, you are not a woman of quality. You're really not. Because out there is so many things that you can be doing, that you can stride forward, that you can do, except you blame it on men. You get offended when a man says, oh, men built this, men built that. Yes, men did, an awful lot. But you see, this is where I'm different from other guys, because equally behind men who built all these things, there's an army of women standing beside their men, using the strength that they have to support their men. When their men came home, they would support their husbands. Their husbands would go out, sometimes without even eating, go out and do a day's work, and they put the food out on the table for their family. Men have gone and died, not for the freedom of the nation, not for governments, not for anything else, but the simple fact of the matter is men have gone out and died because they love and honour their women, and they would rather sacrifice their lives to protect the families, the women, the children, everything else. Two equally strong armies in the world coming together. Second World War, First World War, Second World War, an army of men going out. Second World War, did you ever see women turning around saying, oh, it's men's fault this is happening and we don't have anything and we lose our husbands? No, they went out into the workplaces, into the factories, into the farms, and they worked to support their men who were fighting to protect their freedom. The truth of the matter today is this. And this is the absolute truth. There is nothing to stop a woman or a man gaining what they desire in life. And I look at strong women who stand by their husbands, and husbands stand. Dana Lynn Bailey. You've got, in fact, I'm even going to mention people who aren't famous. I'm going to mention people like my mum and dad, my grandma and granddad. Okay, other people's wives and husbands working together. I have people who I work with who are solid in their relationship. My bosses, there are some of my female bosses. They come out, their husband goes out to work, they go out to work. They find the time to rear their children, to rear their families, to bring them up through, look after them, provide food, coming together, working together, combining their strengths into an equality. That's what equality is. Now, women tend to choose one path in certain things, men choose another. If you really want to get down to it, men are logical. We think forward, we think in straight lines. Women are emotional. They see a lot more about. Doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It doesn't. It means one's direct and thorough. One has emotion and they cover wider aspects. And both of them, if you combine together, and remember this word, combine together. Not a woman trying to act like a man or a man trying to act like a woman. But if you combine it together and bring the strengths of both parts together, I tell you now, there is nothing stronger and nothing more equal than a man and woman working together. Nothing. And I defy anybody to prove that wrong. Defy anybody. So, my main message is today to the feminists who do equal rights, today's feminists, I'm not talking about the predecessors who were noble, strong women of quality, right? I'm talking about the feminists today. You know, nobody really needs to see a genitalia because it's genitalia. We're not impressed. It's not powerful. It's it's reproductive organ, the same as a male's genitalia. That's all it is. Okay? One cannot exist without the other. Okay? I really, really want to be a voice of reason in this. And I don't want to ever anybody to think that I'm anti-female. I'm not. I care very strongly about the situation today. And I want to just bring some sense. Try and get people to see what should be seen rather than one group trying to act like the other, because all it is one-upmanship. Bring yourselves together, work together, and just forget about this inequality, pay gap, whatever. Everybody has the ability to do it. I get paid exactly the same as another lifeguard in another leisure centre. Okay. Simple fact that matter. I work, I get the same pay as somebody else. It's just that some women choose to have children. They choose to enjoy and bring forth the strength that is within themselves. Now, yes, unfortunately, there is a side to that. There may be a side where there might be a time where you're out of work looking after your child. That is your choice. It's not to be blamed on by men, unless of course the guy's taking advantage and being a bit of an asshole. But generally, it's a choice for a female to raise a family. It's a choice for a man to be with that female, to go to work, doing as he should, while a mother enhances, nurtures, and teaches a nation. And I believe that a nation is taught by their mothers. In fact, if you really want to bring it down, in closing, a mother is there to teach, to love, to accept, and to grow. A father is there to teach, to question, learn, and to grow intellectually. Bring it together, you're going to raise an amazing human being. You're going to create an amazing nation. Separate it, and you've got destruction on your hands. Hey, thanks for listening. It's just my thoughts and just what I want to share.